physician, an author, and a radio show host. She is also known as the most passionate advocate of citizen action for the nuclear and environmental crisis, for the remedy of the nuclear and environmental crises. For the past 38 years, she has made it her mission to publicize her beliefs and educate the public on the hazards of nuclear weapons and power, as well as the changes that need to be made. This woman is Dr. Helen Caldicott. Helen Caldicott has co-founded and founded several organizations around the world on the basis of her mission to educate the public on the devastating repercussions of nuclear power and weapons use. Three of these organizations are Beyond Nuclear, the Helen Caldicott Foundation Nuclear Free Planet, and Women's Actions for Nuclear Disarmament. Beyond Nuclear was established to inform the public of the hazards associated with nuclear power and weapons and some changes that we can make to do away with the use of it. Nuclear power does release radioactive gases and liquids. Radioactive carbon dioxide is released from the reprocessing plants. An alternative to this would be to use on and offshore wind farms because they are emissions free and they increase wind generation. Nuclear power also encourages the building of nuclear weapons. Nuclear technology made available all over the world makes it possible for nuclear weapons to be constructed. Nuclear power can cause radioactive waste to increase. Let's face it, there is no safe way to dispose of these nuclear radioactive wastes. To eliminate these wastes, we need to use faster, cheaper, and clean energy. The Helen Caldicott Foundation was established to inform the public of the many health hazards and risks with nuclear power and weapons. In the 1986 Chernobyl nuclear power plant explosion, radioactive particles were released into the air in large amounts. Radiation-induced cancer and leukemia and thyroid cancer in children were serious repercussions from this explosion. In the 2011 Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant disaster, radiation leaked into the air, soil, and the sea. As a result of the leakage into the soil and the sea, any shipments of vegetables and fish were stopped. It was estimated that there would be probable increases in cancer, leukemia, breast cancer, and thyroid cancer in any infants that were exposed to this radiation. Women's Action for Nuclear Disarmament was established to promote world peace and security, nuclear disarmament, and the elimination of extra military spending by allowing the people's needs and the environment needs to become the priority. WAND, otherwise known as Women's Action for Nuclear Disarmament, strives for nuclear disarmament, peace, and security. The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty was established to impair the efforts of advancement in weapons, strategies, programs from any other countries by putting a global ban on any nuclear test explosions. The Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty was established to strengthen the efforts on reducing nuclear threats, the spreading of nuclear weapons, and any discussions about reducing nuclear arms. WAND strives for the elimination of extra military spending by allowing the people's needs and the environmental needs to become priority. We need to cut the nuclear weapons budget. It's estimated that we, in this decade, will spend close to $600 to $700 trillion on nuclear weapons and anything pertaining to that subject. Investments in education will provide more jobs than military projects. Investments in the community service block grants will provide funding for domestic violence shelters and help reduce poverty by providing service and alternative activities. Investments in the low-income house energy assistance programs will help struggling families with their heating and cooling bills. Dr. Helen Caldicott believes that it is very important to educate the public on the risks and the hazards involved with nuclear power and nuclear weapons. She also believes that the public should take action in finding new, safer forms of energy, not only for our health but also for the environment. She also believes in world peace and security. 3 of the several organizations that she helped found and co-found were Beyond Nuclear, the Helen Caldicott Foundation, Nuclear Free Planet, and Women's Actions for Nuclear Disarmament, to help spread the word around the world and prevent future nuclear disasters such as Chernobyl and Fukushima. She has made it her mission to do anything for the public and the people and the environment to prevent any further destruction.